Video is going to be an introduction to my solo campaign and the tabletop role-playing game that I've created. The introduction is a longer introduction to, well, this introduction is a longer introduction to said TTRPG, so if you don't want to hear it, feel free to skip ahead to wherever. I'll put the time thing right here. This is my script. So skip ahead right here if you want the short intro. Yeah, there's a 2-sentence summary intro there and the real fun starts. So, you don't have to listen to me ramble if you don't want to, but I'm gonna ramble. The long story is that I watch a lot of Dimension 20 on Dropout, like a lot, because, oh gosh, I'm not used to talking in front of a camera, and I wanted to start this. I wanted to start doing this in front of the camera because I feel like it's kind of, I don't know, I feel like it's better like this, but I could be wrong, so I'm nervous. We'll see if any of this gets cut out. Anyway, long story is that I watch a lot of Dimension 20 on Dropout, like a lot, and I wanted to play the Magic School season with my theater friends because I was trying to leave the country by 2026, and I hadn't yet realized I was the biggest geek and thus the only one who's played D&D before. So when I restarted the session to try and transcribe the rules, I didn't really feel like it was sustainable for the long-term campaign that I wanted to play with my friends. I want to play for years, and this was like a season, and I know that they tend to film these things like in days. So anyway, it didn't seem sustainable, so I started tweaking some rules. And then I realized that there were no stats for magical creatures, so I made some up. And then I wanted there to be more bonuses to critically succeeding, so I made some up. I wanted more attributes, so I faded those and fleshed out spellcaster classes so they weren't all the same, and added battle conditions, and you see where this is going. By the time I told my friends about it, it was like 95% my made-up game. I separated it and made it 100% mine so that I could possibly sell the game because I am one of the poors, if you couldn't tell, and I would like to not be. And I got really excited, and I got really into the design, and I made a website. I made charts and graphs and lists and another website, and everything was color-coded and backed up and painstakingly edited and laid out. And then I slowly but surely realized that I wasn't gonna get to play with my friends, and I'm so socially anxious that just completely killed this project for me for a while. I was devastated, and worse, I was demotivated. But I discovered solo campaigning, and I'm tentatively putting this out on the webs. My tabletop role-playing game, TTRPG. I've named it Magic Mayhem. It's a pretty loose mashup of Dungeons and Dragons, Kids on Brooms, Never Stop Blowing Up if you watch Dimension 20, and My Soul, and also the Misfits and Magic seasons of Dimension 20. So, My Soul, and then all of my comfort shows that I watch are this. Yeah. The campaign itself is essentially like a rewriting of our favorite magic school story about a particular nerdy little orphan, because I disagree with giving money or attention to people who spew hate rhetoric. So I wanted something that I could look at and live the magic school life. And I feel like Misfits in Magic was kind of a little bit of that, but I wanted more. So I'm not sponsored or sanctioned by Dropout or Dimension 20, and I'm certainly not Brennan Lee Mulligan. I'm not, I'm not there. Although, my Make-A-Wish is to play at the same table as Brennan Lee Mulligan, to play a game, a TTRPG with him. So, I just want this noted, that that's my dream. That's my Make-A-Wish. Anyway, I just really wanted this, like all this work that I did on this to see the light of day. And I also just really want, I want a magic school thing that isn't tied to a horrendous person. I just want a thing that we can all enjoy, that is, that we don't have to then grow up and look at the person who created it and say, oh, I'm sad. Because that's how I feel about a series of unfortunate events, and that's how I feel about Harry Potter, that's how I feel about a lot of things. That's a little bit how I feel about Tolkien, although, they say it's a different time, but anyway. Moving on, I'll probably cut some of this out. Hopefully I'll cut some of this out. I don't like to ramble, and I don't know if people like to hear me ramble, so I'll cut the rambling. On to the short intro. I will not do any rambling during this. I promise. The short intro. Hello! I made a tabletop game for me and my 3 friends to play, and then I slowly but surely realized that I'm the only one with time to geek out over TTRPGs, so I'm solo campaigning. I wrote a story based on a childhood one we all know and love in the hopes that we could all enjoy this because the author of the story is a horrendous person. I fully don't know what part of a TTRPG is sellable, since all you need is a good set of dice and a way to take notes, but I hope to sell my game someday nonetheless. So, that being said, welcome to Magic Mayhem, Year 1, entering the Aurarian School of Pragmatic Magic, the thrilling tale of a young magical chosen person's first year at wizarding school. Let's begin our, everything, by rolling up a character. I know that I want my character's name to be Joon because I just put my script away, so now I don't know what to say. I know I want my character's name to be Joon as a kind of nod to my old handle, but I don't know anything else about them. For the rest, we are going to be rolling the dice. For age, I personally would like to play someone the same age as myself, but I will roll a d6 for the 10s and a d10 for the 1s, and I'll just live with the results. I had to go get my d6. Alright, so I'm going to be rolling my d10. I can't dump these out because my crystal die are broken, and the pieces are in here, so... Where's my other d10? Do I only have one? Nope, I have another one. Let me see... So, how old are we? That rolled a lot, and it's cocked. Oh, goodness gracious, what are we doing? Okay, here we go. D10. 0. I didn't, so am I 100? I should have thought about that. 0, I guess that's 100. I'm 100 something? Oh my gosh. Okay. Oh, okay, so 0. I said D6 for the 10s and D10 for the 1s. Okay, so I'm 40. I'm 40. I thought I was 104. No, I'm 40. Okay, that's cool. So, we're 40 years old. For gender, I don't have a 3-sided die, but the Dice app does. So, the one that I use... Hold on. I can do this. I know how to do stuff. So this is the dice app that I use. You can find it here in the Play Store, and it's by 7 Pixels. So they do have a D3. Let me clear all my die. I don't remember how. How do I clear my die? You know what? I'll just add a D3. Like that. That's not going to be my roll. That's just adding it. So I'll say 1 is female, 3 is male, and 2 is in between. And we got a 1. That's kind of boring, but that's okay. So we'll be female. Let me go update my notes. Okay. Oh, exciting stuff. Alright, and now species. Oh god. I have 23 species and 5 afflictions that I created, so I have 28 total choices. But I also don't really want my character to be any of the immortal or undead types, so I'm going to roll a d20, and then I'm going to use the dice app again since my d4 is chipped, and I'll say 4 is like no affliction, since that's what I'm hoping for. So rolling high is our dream. So for a d20, 18. Okay, so I'm gonna go find the 18th species, but for now, let me go back to the dice app and roll my d4. So we'll add d4. Again, that's not our roll, although we want it to be our roll. Should I take that as, no, that's cheating. I'm not gonna take that as my roll. Okay, so I think that is the rage virus. Fudge me! I think that's the rage virus. Oh my gosh, let me look at my notes. And we'll see. Pause. Yep, it is the rage virus because I said I couldn't be a vampire. So we had werewolf, berserker, and I thought there was a third, but I guess not. So I am going to be a berserker, and I'm going to be a centaur. So that's what we've got. I paused for salad. For the caster class, neither I nor the dice app has a 13-sided die. So we're going to use this random number generator that I found online. It's pretty simple, it's just rng.com. If you are the opposite of me and you for some reason have access to a deck of cards but not a random number generator, then you can use a deck of cards instead. I don't have a deck of cards, but I do have access to an RNG, and I'm horrendously bad at shuffling, so I'm going to use the RND. I would like a number between 1 and 13, or should I say 1 and 14? I don't know if it includes it. It does include it because it said 1. Okay. I feel like that's not very random, but okay. I guess, yeah, sure. Okay. So, caster classes. Let me go look at my notes again. The first caster class is the ability to see the future. Okay, so I'm a diviner. Somehow. That's rough. Okay, alright. That's fine though. That's fine. We're fine. That'll be fine. So let's go back to our thing. Back over here. Let us see. Okay. So, yeah. So that is everything that we needed in terms of that. But now we're going to get our stats set. So I have a system set up wherein you're going to roll a d20 13 times. 5 times you're rolling it with advantage, and then 3 times you're rolling it straight. So that's 10 times, and you take the better 5 times. I'll just do it, and it'll make more sense, okay? So we have a 15 and a 13. We're going to take the 13. Okay, go again. We have 17 and 8. We're gonna take 17. We have a 20 and an 11. So I think this die rolls high. I either have die that rolls low or die that rolls high. This feels like it's rolling high. That's cocked. That's cocked. That's cocked. Let me stop being crazy. It was on the very edge of being cocked. It's 19. And 6. Okay. Maybe I should roll with different die? 14 and 1. Okay, so 14. So now we have our 5 numbers that we needed. We have 13, 17, 20, 19, and 14. Now this last 3 times, I'm only going to take the number that I get. I have 13, 8, and 17. Okay, 13, 8, 17. Back out of this so that I can save that for myself. Okay, and that's our stats. I'm gonna get those stats set up later on, but for now, those are the stats that we have. Every character also has a misfortune, with an option for like middling if the players can't be bothered to do all the dice and they don't want to roll all the dice, but I just thought it would be fun if casting magic was kind of inherently chaotic for everyone. So I guess we're gonna see if that's actually fun in action. But again, for this, let's go ahead and go here. I personally want to have a a misfortune of some sort, and so I will be rolling a d4 so that I don't have the option of middling. And then of course, again, I'm rolling it on the dice app because my crystal d4 is broken. I need to ask the people who made it if I can fix it and have it still be like, you know, good, because I can super glue the parts back. It's just, yeah, I never even got to roll this. I never even got to roll it. It just cracked on the 1 and the 4, so that's funny. Rolling my d4 here. 4. Okay, so I'm gonna go with the I have the Magnus one, which means lots of magic and lots of control, which I kind of didn't want that, but that's okay. So I had the option of Menace, which means lots of magic and little control. Meh, which means little magic, little control. People aren't really worried about those guys. Mute, which is a little magic and a lot of control. Or Magnus, which was lots of magic, lots of control. So I didn't really want to be a Magnus, but that is okay. I'm taking what the dice is giving me, and I'm being a big girl about it. So we'll go ahead and put down here what we got. Magnus. Okay, now that we've gone over all of the mechanics of our character, let's figure out their looks. Starting with their body shape. I've narrowed our choices down to the 8 that I have drawn. Okay, so I realized that I don't have enough height categories to make 6 categories, so we're gonna roll our d8 for our body type, which is body type 7. So I'm gonna be a brownie, which like is very square. And then we're gonna roll our d6. And if it's a 6, which it is, we're gonna roll again. 3, so average. I'm average height and very square. Skin tone was dependent on the species, but then I ended up with like an animals type species, so I'm doing shades of brown just like you would with humans. I got a 2, so I'm actually pretty pale. Do I have spots? Do I have a coin so that I can flip a coin. Let me see. I know I saw a penny somewhere. But I guess I lost it. So we'll flip this instead. This block. Heads. So yes, I do have spots. I am pale with spots. Are the spots light or dark? They are light. So I'm pale but with spots that are lighter than me. Interesting. Am I silverish or yellowy? I'm gonna say heads is silverish and tails is yellowy. So we got yellowy. And let's see. So we are a yellowy pale horse with white spots. Yellowy with white spots. And then I would like to know, am I a mulish, an alpacan, or just a regular old horse? So we're going to go back to our dice app here, or at least we're going to try. We're going back to our dice app, and I'm going to add my D3. Again, that's not my roll. So I'm going to say, I'm not going to look at it right now. I'm going to say 1 is mulish, 2 is horse, and 3 is alpacan. So I'm mulish. I'm going to be a mulish centaur. Okay. To my notes. That makes sense because I'm kind of a berserker. Mulish. This is difficult. Mulish. And my eye color. Let me see. I'm gonna say, let's roll a d6 and we'll say 1 is brown. You know what? I'm going to put the chart that I think of right here. And we're gonna roll. Okay, 3. So we have green eyes. Okay, and then we are going to do hair texture. Hair texture was going to be on a D4. So because we've got that on that D4, we are going to go right on back. Or we're gonna try. Yep, back to our dice app. Roll that D4. And it is a 3, so it's not going to be super curly, but it's not going to be straight. So we're there. We had straight, wavy, curly, and then like black curly. Okay, and then hair color is going to be on a D8. I feel like I'm kind of blazing through this right now, but it kind of is what it is. All right. Okay, 3. So that is going to be also not very dark hair. Is it reddish at all? Yes. Okay, so I have a strawberry blonde, which love. Let me see. Personality. Is this character me? It landed like this. Is it me? See that? That's insane. Is it me? Heads, yes. This character is basically me. Okay. Fashion. Gosh. Okay. So admittedly, I have not written down the fashions that I want to use yet. So what I'll be doing is looking for a random aesthetic generator. I don't know if this is a thing that you can find, so we're going to be figuring it out. I am not a cool person, so I don't use Google, I use Bing. So we're gonna see. Random aesthetic generator. That is a thing you can find. By perchance.org. Random aesthetic generator. So we're clicking on that, and we're taking a look. We're not going to take the first one that pops up. How many aesthetics? Oh, yeah, just one. Oh, the one that popped up is Nyatek, which is cute. How many optional colors? I'm gonna say 7. All the rainbow. 8. 8 optional colors. Auto expand optional colors. I don't know what that means, so I'm just gonna say yes. Slime pop, which means that I like swamps, slugs, gooey things, ghosts, acid, bright green, mold, and aliens. And then the pop part is like positive, enthusiastic reflections of the slime. The slime theme stands out, i.e. pops, and is explored loudly and visibly. The colors that I have are awesome. They're this dark purple called Eminence, a nice olive green that's called Pacifica, Treehouse, which I think is a deep, deep brown, Vida Loca, which is a lively green, Muddy Waters, which looks like muddy water, Delta, which is gray, Punch, which is a nice red, and Off Green, which is a white that is, or a green that is almost white. It's off green. So that's fun. That is so fun. All right, I tried to take a screenshot of that, and then my thing popped up. Right. A screenshot of that. My aesthetic is slime pop. That's so cool. I've never heard of that before. I am secretly kind of old in the brain though, so I like literally just heard of. Ooh, what is it called? It's like death. It's like necro rap. I just heard of necro rap. I like it, but I just found out about it. All right. When you write down everything that I have, oh my gosh, that's Joon. That's it. That's Joon. It is our Berserker Centaur. So let's go over everything that we got. I'm very excited, even though I've just been rolling dice and talking for like 5 minutes. But anyway, Joon is a Berserker Centaur who is also a seer/diviner. I was upset about that, and then I realized I wrote this campaign to be a mystery, but I'm playing the campaign, so it actually makes total sense for my character to be a seer. That makes it so that I don't have to make up a reason why my character kind of already knows everything and we're just figuring stuff out. So, yes. We are a Magnus with our stats that I will figure out later, probably while I'm drawing the character. And then, yeah. Gosh. So yeah, I've talked your ear off about it enough, so I guess I'll see you in a couple weeks with episode 1 of the campaign. Have a good day!
Have a good day.